Hello everyone, good morning to all. Welcome to our new session of e-learning class. I am Rashmi Ranjan Mishra, lecturer of UN Autonomous College of Science and Technology. Today I am going to discuss on a subject regarding entrepreneurship and small business management. So on today's discussion I will discuss in front of you relating to forms of organization. So let us watch my video. If you are having any doubt, then you can give your comment in the comment sections. So now we are going to discuss what is ownership of organization, or what are the different types of a selection of a ownership organization at the time of a starting entrepreneurship business activities. The selection criteria of a proper form of organization is very crucial for the success of the enterprise. Every organization has to decide about the type of organization which he plans to select for his private enterprise. So for the success of entrepreneurship or for the success of enterprise, it is very vital role from the part of view of entrepreneur that to select a proper form of organization, because every organization that has to decide type of organization for which that plan or selection made for different private enterprise. It is an important entrepreneurial decision. There are various factors that are taken into consideration or given due weightage in making a choice of suitable form of organization, which is most suited to one's enterprise. The type of a business relating to whether that is service activities or that is trading activities or that organization or business relating to manufacturing activities. Then the selection of industry and the area of operation, that has to be taken into consideration, one of the important factor. The next factor, that is scope of operation, volume of business and size of a market, that also taken into consideration. Then the most important part, that is amount of capital funds required initially as well as working capital. Then possibility of raising resources from the market when initial fund or ownership fund is not sufficient to run the organization. In that case, the entrepreneur has to depend upon outside source for raising the funds from the open market or different financial institution, and in that case the entrepreneur must have to decide or take into consideration what are the various subsidies or other incentives that are provided for starting of an entrepreneurial activities by different financial institutions. Then the next one is comparative tax advantages, which is another important factor taken into consideration by the entrepreneur. Then what is the amount of a risk involvement or a risk bearing capacity. Next, continuity of the enterprise. Next one is cost and procedure and relative freedom from government regulation. So these are the various factors should be considered at the time of selecting the enterprise, or before taking into consideration the form of organization, the factors should be considered by the entrepreneur. The first and foremost question in organizing an SSI unit is that of ownership, which is represented by the right of an individual or group of individual to acquire legal title to assets for the purpose of controlling and enjoying profits from such activities. So the chief form of ownership organization, one is relating to sole trader or sole proprietorship form of organization, second one is partnership organization, third one is joint stock company, and the fourth one is cooperative society. So these are the different form of organization started by the entrepreneur or different entrepreneurs. They are combined together to start various forms of organization. So we will discuss these four form of organization one by one. The first one is sole trader or sole proprietor. It is a form of a business organization in which an individual invests his own capital, uses his own skill and intelligence in the management of affairs, and is solely responsible for the result of its operation. Sole, that means single owner or single individual. So when one individual starts his business by controlling all the activities or by investing his own capital, utilizing the skills and diligence or intelligence for the management of the affairs of the business, takes all the profits and suffer all the loss, that is called as a sole trader. That means the person concerned is solely responsible for the result of its operation. It is also called as a single ownership, when an individual exercise and enjoy these rights in his own interest. So when one individual exercise his own rights and enjoy the rights of his own interest, then that is called as a sole proprietorship or single ownership. A business owned by one man is called as a single ownership. Single ownership does well for those enterprises which require little capital and lend themselves readily to control by one person. So, for one person that is very sufficient to control the capital as well as the management of the activities of the business. There are various features for sole traders. First one is sole ownership. That means a single individual can start a sole proprietorship business. That is, all amount of money contributed by the single individual, takes all the risks, control all the management activities, takes out all the profits, and in case any loss has suffered, that also suffered by that single individual. So, sole trade business is called as a sole ownership business. Then one man control. This signifies that one man controls the entire activities, as it is called as a sole proprietor. So, everything is in the hands of one person. Amount contributed by the owner, management activities also controlled by the owner, profit taken by the owner, as well as the loss also suffered by the owner. So, everything is controlled by a single individual. So, that is why it is called as a one man control business. Then unlimited risks. So, unlimited risk signifies that as it is controlled and operated by a single individual, so the person concerned has taking unlimited amount of risks for managing all the activities of the business. Undivided risks. Risks is divided or risks is controlled with only one person, as it is one man ownership business. So, that is not divided by others or by outsiders. Then no separate entity. So, in case of a sole trade business, we cannot say that there is no separation of a legal identity and existence, because it is contributed or controlled and operated by one man. The next one is no government regulation, as it is a single individual business or small scale business. So, in that case there is no government regulation requiring registration, dissolution or anything else which is required in other form of organization, that is not required in sole trade organization. There are various advantages in case of a sole proprietorship. The first one is easy to establish, because it does not require complete or any legal formalities, as there is no legal formalities or government rules and regulation is required. It can be easily started as well as it can also be easily closed. The second one is simplicity of organization. The organization is very simple, as it is a small scale business. It can be controlled and managed by one person. So, there is no hard and fast rule or nothing can be there, as it is controlled and operated only by one person. That is why it is called as a simply or simplicity. Third one is the expenses in starting the business is minimal. That means sole trade business is controlled and operated by one man. So, the person concerned contributed the amount and all the activities controlled by one person. So, expenses relating to that business at the time of starting sole proprietorship form of organization is very minimum. Then owner is free to make all decisions. So, there is no involvement of other person. One man can take all the decisions. He is free from others. The fifth one is this type of ownership is very simple, easy to operate and extremely flexible. As and when owner thinks that can change the business, then based upon his or her own decision, the business can also be changed or that can be converted into other form of a business. So, that depends upon the owner. So, that is why it is called as a flexible. The sixth point, owner enjoy all the profits, as it is controlled by single individual. So, the profit is also taken by the owner, or the owner enjoy all the profits. There is a great deal of a personal motivation and incentive to succeed. So, when single individual can start the sole trade business, in that case when business succeed, that means more and more profit is there. In that case the person concerned is motivated to work more, to earn more. So, there is a chance of motivation as well as incentive to succeed. Then the next one is minimum legal restrictions are associated with this form of ownership, as there is no government rule and regulation or criteria is there. So, in this case the legal restriction is constrained to certain minimum, and these are associated with this type of ownership organization. Then the next point is owner can keep secrecy as regards the raw material used, method of manufacture, etc. So, it is controlled by single individual. The person concerned takes all the risks and keep all the secrets only to himself or herself relating to all the activities of the business. But there are certain demerits. The first point, the owner is liable for all obligation and debts of the business, as the amount contributed by single individual, profit also taken by that. So in that case, the owner also liable for all type of debt if that arises during business activities, and all type of business obligation for that owner is also liable. The second one is, the business may not be successful if the owner has limited money, lacks ability and necessary experience to run the business. So when owner has limited money, not enough money, or not able to arrange from outside source the amount of capital which is required, and in case the owner lacks ability and integrity or knowledge, and there is necessary experience for running the business, in that case this type of a lacking fails to success of the business, or the owner may not be successful if there is lacking of money or there is lack of ability as well as necessary experience for running the business. The third point, because of relatively unstable nature of the business, it is difficult to raise capital for expanding business. So sole trade business is unstable. Owner may think to start the business at the morning, may think to close the business at the evening. So there is no stability because it is depend upon the one person. So that's why it is called as a relatively unstable nature of activities. For that, it is very difficult to raise the capital at the time of expanding the business. The fourth point, if the business fails, creditors can take the personal property as well as the business property. So when the business, there is a chance of failure, in that case the creditors, those are associated with the business, they can take the personal property as well as the business property of the owner to settle their claims. This means the single ownership involves unlimited liability for debt as well as losses. The fifth demerit, there is limited opportunity for employees as regards monetary rewards. That means profit sharing, bonus or any type of a promotion, because it is carried or controlled and operated by only one individual. The last demerit, generally single ownership firm has limited life. That means the firm may cease to exist with the death of the proprietor. So when owner dies or there is a chance of insolvent or any problem arises, in that case the business has a limited liability, and this is the cause of unstable nature of the firm. Then the second form of organization, that is called as a partnership form of organization. A single owner becomes inadequate as the size of the business enterprise grows, because he may not be in a position to do away with all the duties and responsibility for growing the business activity. So when business wants to grow, and that with various types of duties as well as a responsibility, in that case one person is not sufficient to control all the activities. When the size of the business increases, in that case sole trade business is not suitable, and at this stage the individual owner, they may wish to associate with other more persons who have either capital to invest or possess special skill and knowledge to make the business more profitable. So in that case the person concerned thinks to add more and more persons to invest either capital, or they give their or possess their skills and knowledge for making the business more and more profitable. And such combination of individual traders is called as a partnership. That means partnership as the relation between persons who have agreed to share the profit of the business carried on by all, or any of them acting for all. So partnership business means association of two or more persons, those are involved to carry on the business, and the business is carried on by all or any of them acting for all. Individual with a common purpose join as partners. Those are the involved with the partnership business, they are individually called as a partners, and they put together their property, ability, skill, knowledge, everything for the purpose of making the profits or growing the business. In brief, partnership is an association of two or more persons to carry on as a co-owner of a business, but the business is a maximum up to 20 members. In case of a banking business, that is 10, but in case of other business the maximum members is 20. But association of two or more than two, that persons involved is called as a partnership business. Partnership are based upon partnership agreement. That means the relationship between the partners, or when the partnership business is formed, all the partners they enters into an agreement which is generally reduced to writing. It should cover all the areas of disagreement among the partners. It should define the authority, the rights, the duties of each and every partners, and also specify how and profit or losses should be divided among the partners. That means the profit sharing ratio or loss sharing ratio. There are basic features, number of persons. In case partnership business, the business is started on by 2 or more persons, but in case banking business, the maximum number is 10, and in case of a general other business, the 20. Then contractual relationship, as it is an association of 2 or more persons, so there is a relationship made between all the partners. So that is why it is called as a contractual relationship. Third, no legal distinction between firm and its partners. The firm and partners, they all are combined together for going on the business activities. Unlimited liability, the liability of the partners is unlimited. That means their property can also be utilized for meeting the debt obligation of the business. There are certain advantages. The first advantage is easy formation, as it is an association of 2 or more persons. So by making a contractual relationship, the business can be easily started. Flexibility, based upon the agreement or the decision made by all the partners, the business can be changed. Then the third one is pooling of resources and skills, as it is association of persons, so the resources as well as knowledge, skill and ability that are pooled by all the partners. Then the division of risks, the risk is shared between all the partners based upon their knowledge and integrity or experience. Then the next one is encouragement of a mutual trust. That means there is a trust and confidence between all the partners, that they are combined together for achieving the business goal or objectives. But there is certain disadvantages. The first one is limited resources, as it is carried on by all the partners. The resource of all the partners contributed to certain extent. That's why it is called as a limited resource. Instability, if any type of a disagreement made between the partners and they are not having agree with the common proposal, then in that case there is no stability of the business. Business at any situation may be closed down. Then lack of a harmony of interest. So any type of a disturbance or problem between the partners, that leads to lack of a harmony and business cannot make success. Then the third one is joint stock company. It is an association of individual, those are called as the shareholders, who join together for profit and agree to supply capital, which is divided into number of individual units, that is called as share, and that are transferable for carrying on a specific business activities. Death, insolvency, disablement or lunacy of the shareholder does not affect the joint stock company. A joint stock company consists of more than 20% for carrying on any business other than the banking business. In case business other than banking, then at least 20 or more than that they can associated with to start the company. And as it is company, that means association of individual, those are called as the shareholder. So it is formed and registered under the Companies Act. These persons give a name to the company. So company means that is a name, and the name must be registered as per the Companies Act with the registrar of companies, and that mention the purpose for which it is formed, and also state the nature as well as the amount of capital to be issued, and submit all the proposals to the registrar of companies. As registrar issue a certificate in this connection, so the company starts operating. After issuing certificate by ROC, the business can be started. The managing body of the joint stock company is board of director, who is elected by the shareholders. The liability of the members of a joint stock company is limited only to their capital, only of which they hold in shares. Finance is raised by issuing share or debenture or different types of a bank loan or loan from any industry as well as finance corporation. So there are various merit points for joint stock company. A huge sum of money can be raised because company or joint stock company is an association of more and more members, and those are called as the shareholder. So when they contribute the capital, at that time the company is a chance of raising huge money. It associates limited liability with it. So that is another merit point, that joint stock company associated with a limited liability. Then the shares are transferable. That means it is freely transferable from one person to another. Next merit point, company's life is not affected by the life of the shareholder. If any person, there is a case of a death or there is insolvency or a lunacy, in that case the business is not affected. Business or the company can go on forever, and that is not affected by the death of the shareholders. Then the next merit point, service of a specialist can be obtained. Different members are, or the shareholders, they are associated with the business. So different specialists can be obtained. Risk of a loss is divided among many shareholders. When there is a case of a loss, in that case, that loss is shared by different individuals or the shareholder, as well as the risks or business risks can also be shared with many shareholders. Then next, the company associated with its stability, efficiency and flexibility of management. When there is a case of stability and efficiency or any type of a change of business activity, in that case the company associated with all that type of activity. Instead of that, there are certain demerits. The first one is a good deal of a legal formality is required for formation of a joint stock company. As it is a case of a company form of organization, so it is covered with various rules and regulations implemented or covered under the Companies Act. So a small organization is not able to go with that type of a legal formalities. Then second demerit, company is managed by big shareholder. In case of a large organization or a large company, there are huge number of shareholder and also big shareholder. So in that case, that also be underestimated to the different lower shareholders. Then the third demerit, high paid official manage the whole shows. They cannot have high interest in the company as the proprietor can have. As there are high paid officials, they cannot have having high interest to manage the entire activity which the sole trader can have. The fourth demerit, people can commit frauds with the company. There is also this type of a chance of committing fraud in a business activity or with the company. Then board of directors as well as managers who remain familiar with the financial position of the company may sell or purchase share for their personal profit. So this is one type of a problem also arise in certain cases. Those are the director or the manager who are having more familiar with the financial position of a particular company. They are having the chance to sell or purchase the shares for only their personal profit. The last one is cooperative form of organization or cooperative society. It is a form of private ownership which contains features of a large partnership as well as some features of the company. The main aim of cooperative is to eliminate the profit and provide goods and service to the members of the society at a reasonable cost. Members, they pay fees for or buy shares of the cooperative and profits are periodically redistributed. Since each member having one vote, this avoids the concentration of a control in a few hands. In a cooperative society, there are different shareholders, a board of directors as well as other elected officers similar to company form of organization. There are periodic meeting of the shareholder. Special law also deal with the formation as well as taxation of cooperatives. Cooperative form of organization is a kind of a voluntary democratic ownership that is formed by some motivated individuals only for obtaining necessity of everyday life at a rate less than those of the market rate. The principle behind cooperative is that of a cooperation and for self-help. There are various merit points. Daily necessity of life can be made available at a lower rate in cooperative form of organization. Second, it is the democratic form of ownership. Third, overheads are also reduced as members cooperatively render honorary services. Then the fourth merit point, it promotes cooperation, mutual assistance as well as self-help. Another merit point, chances of a large stock holding and black marketing also eliminated in cooperative enterprise. Then the sixth merit point, no one person can make huge profit because it is combination and collaboration or cooperation with all the members associated with that society form of organization. Then seventh merit point, common man is benefited by cooperative society. Then the next one is monetary help also secured for government. But in spite of that, different demerits are there. Since all the members of the cooperative manage the whole show, they may not be competent to make it for good success. Then another one is finance as being limited. Specialist services cannot be taken because they require high charges of remuneration. Then the conflict also arise or may arise among the members on issue of sharing the responsibility and enjoying the authority. Members may also, they have the expectation getting higher responsibility as well as taking more authority, but this leads to various conflict among the various members. Next demerit, members who are in possession, they may try to take personal advantages. That means those are having higher authority or higher position, having more responsibility, they may have taking the chance of a personal advantages. So these are the different form of organization, basically sole proprietorship, partnership, company form of organization and cooperative organization are discussed in our today's class. Hope you students all have clear about this form of organization. If you are having any doubt, then you can give your comment in our YouTube comment section. Thank you. Have a good day to all of you.